So as part of 2023, I'm upgrading my gaming PC, and I finally got the final part in the mail today, and that is the motherboard. I wanted to do a little unboxing and review of this motherboard because I think it was probably the component that I had to take the most time researching and purchasing. I got a fantastic deal on it, and I'm really excited to go over it, explain to you kind of why I made the choices that I made, and why I chose it for my particular build. So let's get it open. It's in the box. Yeah. So 2023 gonna be a good year, I think, for some tech prices. The GPU market secondhand has been great. The CPU market with Intel and AMD competing with each other is awesome. I think we have a lot to be excited for in the year 2023 regarding GPU price or computer component prices in general. If you guys want to see some builds, I made a video a while back showing you how to build a cheap gaming PC on eBay. If you want to see something similar to that, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do it. Alright, so here we go. I'm actually kind of surprised. It's a little bit beat up, which I expected, but it actually came in the original box, which is a kind of a shock to me, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But this is the Asus TUF Z690 plus Wi-Fi D4. Kind of a mouthful, but it's a step below the Asus Republic of Gamers ROG variant motherboard, which is pretty much the same. It just has a little bit more RGB features and stuff, but this is still a lot of value in here. And I am on the Z690 platform, so I am going 12th gen Intel for my build this time around. Let's see, on the bottom it says we have HDMI, we have all this stuff, PCIe 5.0, which is nice, Wi-Fi 6, yep, Windows 11 ready. It does have some RGB lighting on here, which we'll take a look at once we get it open. So, let's open this up and take a look at the motherboard. Okay. So the reason why I was kind of surprised that it came in the original box is that this actually came from eBay. This motherboard has been refurbished to work like new. Now, this board actually came out with the new 12th Gen series last year. It retailed for $290, almost $300 for this motherboard, guys. I paid $130, less than half of that for this thing because it was refurbished. And, you know, one of the things that I like to tell people a lot is the secondhand market is sometimes a great way to save some money on computer components, and this is a great example of that. I saved over 50% on a motherboard just by going with a refurbished unit rather than something that was completely brand new. I probably couldn't have justified this if I had bought it brand new. So it comes in a nice anti-static bag. It looks, just as a preliminary look here, I mean, it looks like it's brand new. It looks like it hasn't been touched at all. So that's just awesome. All right, how do I, there's no clear way to open this. I think it's been sealed. I think I actually have to cut this bag open. I have not seen that before. Huh. Okay. Yeah, it's no... That's so bizarre. There's no Ziploc on here. Okay. That's weird. I haven't normally seen that in anti-static bags. Alright. Oh well. Here is the motherboard, and... wow. Okay. Check that out. That looks pretty much good as new to me. That looks... I don't think this has been... They said this was a refurb unit, but it looks too good for that. Looking on the back here, I'm not seeing any dust. Here we go. That sticker, it says Silicon Alley Electronics. Warranty, return, seal, void of damage. Okay, so it's a warranty sticker. Look at that. That looks so clean on the side of it. Look at that. Look at that I/O shield. It doesn't have any fingerprints, no dust. Yeah. They said this was refurbished. If it is, they definitely knew what they were doing. This thing looks really, really good. Check this out. It still has the peel on it. Nice. I believe the Z690 and some of these components light up for RGB, which is kind of cool. So, yeah, I'm actually really impressed. There's a peel on this too, but I'm just going to leave it on for now. So there's a lot to like about this motherboard, and there were a couple of reasons why I chose it. Number one, I decided to go with 12th gen Intel because the value was there. This motherboard in particular, is kind of what set me to go for that, just because of the price. The cost of entry was pretty low, but I've been thinking a lot about like future upgradability and buying components that were going to last. With my last build with the 10th gen Intel and the micro ATX board, I had the F SKU i7 processor, so I couldn't use the integrated GPU if I wanted to, say, turn it into a streaming PC or something like that down the line. So I had to get rid of it, and the motherboard didn't have a lot of expansion. It was good for gaming. It wasn't good for much else if I didn't want to have a gaming PC and I wanted to use something else. This time, though, I'm thinking of, what happens when I want to use this components for something else when I upgrade. But that won't be for a while because this board can support, I think it needs a BIOS update, but I did the research and it looks like this will be able to support 13th gen Intel. So if I want to go to that 13th gen i9 when it comes down in price, I will be able to, no problem, and hopefully when I have a little bit more money. So we have our VRMs up here. I believe this is a 14 plus 2 phase VRM. I think it's 14 plus something, but pretty good. It's going to, of course, allow us to overclock the CPU. Spoiler alert, the CPU does allow for overclocking. If you looked at the short, you already know what CPU I have, but we'll save it for the build video. But the expansion is really what I liked about this motherboard and why I ended up choosing it. Because the idea of, once this thing has done fulfilling its purpose as my gaming rig, and I want to turn it into, let's say, like a Linux workstation, or I want to put it in as part of like a server or something, or a dedicated streaming PC, like I said, I can do that, and it's going to have all of the expansion to take care of that. So up here we have our 16X slot. It's the only 16X slot on the board, and that's where our graphics card goes. We have our first M.2 slot right there. Going down, we have a 1X slot, another 1X slot. This is a 4X slot. So that you could put in, like, if you had, I think most capture cards are... Actually, I don't want to say that. I forget if capture cards are 4X or 8X. I'm not positive. But I think a capture card or like a network card, like a very nice 2.5 or 10 gigabit NIC from Intel could go right there. Down here, where we have a second M.2 slot right here, and then another one down here with this really robust heatsink. It's pretty big. I don't know why it had to be that big. I don't know what this part over here is for. Maybe it's just for, it makes it more effective at dissipating heat. I don't know. And then down here, we have, it looks like a 16X slot, and you could put a 16X card there, but if we turn it around and you look at the bottom, you'll see that electrically, it is a 4X slot. So while you could put a 16X card in there, it's only going to run at 1/4 of its intended speed. So yeah, one thing I did want to check, since this is a refurb unit, I did want to make sure that the pins on here looked okay and weren't bent, because that's kind of the biggest danger when it comes to motherboards, is bent pins. And if you can kind of look in there, and guys, it looks brand spanking new. They did say on the eBay page this is covered by a warranty, but I have eBay money back guarantee no matter what, so it's fine. Like, they said this was a refurb unit, but I am so impressed with this. It looks brand new. I mean, honestly, if you told me that this was a brand new Asus TUF Z690 motherboard, but that the freaking box had a chunk bitten out of it, but otherwise everything else was brand new, I would have totally believed you. There is no indication, absolutely zero indication, that someone has built on this motherboard before. It's awesome. I love it. This is Z690, so I will actually have to double check. If someone knows, go ahead and leave a comment. I don't know if it supports DDR5. I know it supports DDR4. This motherboard, it does say D4, so I think this is the DDR4 version. I'm not sure if it has support for DDR5 yet. I'm not sure if that was 12th gen or if DDR5 was only 13th gen. I'll have to go back and check. But if it is, I can make that upgrade in the future as well. So the whole point of this purchase is that this is a great bang for the buck motherboard. I got it at a fantastic price, and it's going to have a lot of life left in it for future components. So I think that that's spending money in a smart way. Also, it came with the I/O shield, and that's something that you can't really take for granted nowadays. Okay, so I see. So I was reviewing that Corsair case in a previous video, you guys might remember. I did not know what that cable was in the Corsair case. That cable, I had never seen that connection before. Here it is on the motherboard. Now, it says U32G2_9. So I think this might be for, now that I think of it, it might be for USB-C, the USB-C connector on the front of the case, because I don't know what else this is. This is USB, this is for the USB-A ports, I know that. I've built it with, I mean, everything has those. Dell pre-builts have those. I think that's probably for USB-C. If someone can confirm that for me, I'll have to double check. But I think that's what that's for, is the front panel USB-C. And they both have their capacitors. 24-pin connector. Up here, oh, I hit the camera, sorry about that. Up here we have an 8-pin plus a 4-pin for CPU power. Some of the more hardcore motherboards I know have 2 8-pins, but that's going to allow us to unlock our CPU if we want to. I'm not going to be doing any overclocking. I don't personally overclock my systems, and I don't condone it. I don't encourage it, but if you wanted to, that feature is there. And you know, the VRM is structured in such a way that it would handle it if you wanted to. Let's see, we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fan headers. I think that's it. That looks like it's it to me. So yeah, that's a pretty good amount. So yeah, that's just kind of an overview of the motherboard. Again, I'm really amazed that this is a refurb unit and it looks like it's brand new. So, $130, very, very well spent. Like I said, retail, it's a $290 board that I got for less than half of that. But what I wanted to look at was, I wanted to come in here and see if we get our accessories. That's what I was kind of curious about. So if we look in here, we have... okay, we have the manual, the user's guide, that's fine. We have a driver disc. We have certificate of reliability from TUF Gaming. We have, oh, that's cute, stickers to put on the laptop, and then technical updates. Okay, so there's that. However, I think it's in here, in this box, this portion. I was expecting an accessory pack. I was expecting to have, actually, is it in, maybe in here? No, doesn't look like it. I was expecting to have the M.2 screws that you need for the M.2 slot on the board. I know that these boards typically come with that, the ones that have M.2 slots. It does not look like this one did. However, I don't think that's going to be a problem, because if you look here, this is actually, from what I can tell, this is a relatively new thing. I haven't seen this on a lot of like old boards that had M.2 expansion. You see this right here, this little thing? That is a toolless installation for your M.2 slot, where once you fasten it in, you just kind of twist it, and that will lock it in place. And it's a great little mechanism. So I don't think that the screws are going to matter. I will have to check. I'm curious if I can't really see if these ones that are covered by heat sinks have that mechanism. Oh, I'm seeing it right now. Yep, it's kind of hard to see with the camera behind there. I don't know if you can quite tell, but yes, it does. It does have it. Okay, so that's good. So it doesn't have the accessory pack, but that's fine. I'm wondering if this came with an accessory pack. You don't really... It only has two... Can you see it? It only has two SATA connectors. I imagine they didn't include a... Would they include a SATA cable? I don't know. So there's that. The case has the necessary screws for putting the motherboard in there. You don't really need M.2 screws since they all have this toolless mechanism. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of perplexing to me. But yeah, anyway, I think that's going to do it for this video, basically. So that is my review and unboxing of the Asus TUF Z690 D4 wireless. It does have Wi-Fi. Actually, I don't see where the Wi-Fi chip is screwed in. It actually might be... It might be under here. I'm not entirely sure. In laptops, they have a special PCI Express card for it. I'm not sure if they do on desktop either. I don't have a lot of desktop motherboards that are Wi-Fi capable because it's just not something I really use. But maybe. Who knows? It's a nice feature to have in case the use case arises. I just don't really need it. But yeah, it's a great find, and it's going to be great for my build. And it goes to show that if you buy used, buy refurbished on eBay, you can save yourself a ton of money and get stuff that, in my case at least, is basically brand new. So yeah, I know that y'all aren't going to be happy until I do this. Let me go ahead and... Yeah. Alright, there we go. But yeah, this was basically just my little unboxing and overview of my new motherboard that's going into my rig. Very, very happy with this purchase. I think it's going to be great. And I cannot wait to make the full build guide. And I think you guys are going to like it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.